Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JD Moon, and I'm coming at you guys with another Stamina DK build video. This is going to be for the Elsweyr patch. So I am bringing back one of my old ways of doing builds, and it's one of the oldest ways I used to run builds years ago, which was Defile. So for those of you who've played my Plague build and all that stuff, basically I'm redoing another version of that. So this is going to be basically Plague number 2. So we're going to do the Plague build for the Elsweyr patch. Basically, it's exactly what it says, and you're spreading the Plague. That's what you're doing. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over gear. We're going to go over stats. We're also going to go over CP and bar setups as well. So let's go ahead and without further ado, let's dive right in. So as everybody knows, I do run Bloodspawn on basically just about every single build that I make. So on this setup, I am running 7 heavy. I don't have Undaunted fully leveled up on this guy. If you guys want to run 511, I mean, I guess you could. It'd be kind of hard. I mean, you'd have to do your helm and shoulder, so I wouldn't really suggest it. But unless you want to run Spriggans or something like that. But so I run 7 heavy. I would suggest 7 heavy. In my opinion, it's just there's no reason not to run 7 heavy on Stam. Like Stam is just that powerful. So let's dive into what we have on the body. So on the body, we're running a chest of Afflicted. It's Affliction, the Affliction chest. We are also running Afflicted gloves as well, and an Afflicted girdle. So all of these are going to be heavy. They're all going to be impin. So is the helm and shoulders. Both of those are impin. Now both of these have a tri-stack glyph on them. As for the rest of these, are going to have stamina. Anyways, like I said, we're running 3 pieces of Afflicted on the body, and I'm running 2 pieces of Fury on the body as well. And these are both going to be heavy. Obviously, Fury only comes in heavy with stamina glyphs and both impin as well. So we are running 7 impin on this setup. Now on the jewelry, we are running 2 pieces of Protective and 1 infused. Now I have 2 golden rings of Fury. My neck is purple. If you just have purple, that's going to work just fine. Now, guys, I do understand that Fury is a pretty expensive set. So if you wanted to use 7th Legion instead, that does work fine. In the first setup of this build, in the first variation of this build that we designed for Lala, we were using 7th, but I moved on to Fury because it's just way more damage. So now on our front bar, we are running the Afflicted Battle Axe. Now this is going to be charged. If you want this to work properly, you want a charged weapon on the front bar, and that's because it's going to increase a chance of applying the status effect by 220%. So that is huge. So basically you're going to have about a 50% chance of applying Major Defile on the disease proc of this set. So the reason why this set is so stupid is because you have a 50% chance to apply disease damage of 224.15. Also, you're applying minor defile to the target. So this happens every 4 seconds. So basically with this set, with the charged weapon, your chances of applying major and minor defile every time you hit somebody with a light attack is relatively high. So keep in mind, you only want this on your front bar, and the reason for that being is because your volatile armor can proc this set. So you don't want to main bar this set. You don't want this to be your main set because of that, because you don't want it to proc on a guy behind you when you're trying to kill the guy in front of you, okay? So make sure you're doing that as well. Now let's dive on the back bar. I am running Master's Daggers, or Master's Dual Wield. So I have both of these are infused from last patch. Ideally, what you would want is Nirnhoned and Sharpened, or Nirnhoned and Charged. That would work too. Actually, I think Nirnhoned and Charged would probably be the best way to go, or Nirnhoned Precise. But so I'm running 2 infused because that's what I have, and I'm not trying to waste transmute gems on that again. Anyway, so on my infused weapons, I would normally run a poison back here, but since these are infused, I am running a poison damage glyph because I have a higher chance of proccing it, as well as I'm running blade cloaks too, so that also will proc it while I'm on my main bar. So what's cool about this setup is, so since I'm running poison on the main hand and disease on the offhand, right? So this disease will also have a chance of proccing Major Defile as well. So we're increasing our chance of basically trying to keep 100% uptime of Major Defile on the target that we are focusing. Okay, so that is the big thing with this build. That's what you're trying to do. So let's go back and look at the poison that I'm working here. I'm running a double dot poison on the front bar. You're welcome to run whatever poison you want. That's just the one that I've chosen to run. Now on my back bar, if I was running a poison back here as well, so like let's say if you don't have Master's Dual Wield and you want to run a poison, what I would suggest running is this wonderful poison right here. It's a gradual health drain poison that's going to drain them for 1085 over 6 seconds and also heal you for 920 per second for 6 seconds as well. So let's go ahead and look back at the jewelry. So we are running 3 damage glyphs on the jewelry, okay? As well as, like I said before, 5 stamina glyphs and 2 Hakeju tri-stat glyphs. If you want to run just full stamina, you're welcome to. I do like to have 10k max magicka though. Anyway, so let's go ahead and dive into stats. So we're going to look at buffed up stats. Now this is before Fury. Okay, so before Fury, you are looking at 3922 weapon damage on the front bar and 3939 on the back bar. Let's go ahead and get our armor buff up. So since we do have 2 protective, we are sitting at 29.6k spell and 29,000 physical, as well as 2429 critical resistance. So we're really tanky. Okay, we are very, very tanky. I'm not even worried about crit on this build. I mean, you're applying so much dot pressure that crit, honestly, it doesn't fucking matter. And right now, with how much crit resist people are running, I wouldn't even suggest worrying about crit at all in the current meta. So let's go ahead and look at recovery. So we have 514 magic recovery, 986 health recovery, and 1243 stamina recovery. Our maximum stamina is 30.8, as well as our max health is 26.7, and we have the 280 for the max magicka. Now I am running the warrior stone, as well as I run Artam takeaway broth. This is my favorite food for stamina. I think it's just by far too good. If you wanted to run bear haunch, you could definitely do that. It's going to be a lot more sustain. So if you find yourself having trouble sustaining, it's going to lower your damage a little bit because it's going to lower that max stam, but it is a lot of sustain. Okay, it's a lot of sustain because increasing that magicka recovery is going to be more igneous shields, bigger heals, all that good shit. So let's go ahead and look at bars real quick before we dive into what we're running in CP. Also, real quick too, for the race, we are an orc. I like orc best. That's just what I choose. The damage classes, the classes that have the highest max damage that you can achieve, in my opinion, which would be Dunmer and orc. Dunmer being for magicka and orc being for stam. I just think they're the highest damage output you can get for either one, and the most balanced in my opinion. So anyways, moving on, let's go ahead and look at what I've got on my bar setup. So on my front bar, I'm running Igneous Shield, Venomous Claw, Nauseous Breath, Carve, and Rally, as well as Dawnbreaker of Smiting. So I'm not running Leap, as you guys can see. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, JD, why aren't you running Leap? I found that Dawnbreaker just applies so much pressure, and it's a lot harder to recover from a Dawnbreaker than it is a Leap. Leap is a lot easier to recover from because it's just straight damage. Whereas we're pumping out dot damage anyway, so when we apply this pressure on somebody, it's pretty much going to seal the deal. So now moving on to the back bar, I'm running Resolving Vigor, Protective Plate, Volatile Armor, Blood Craze, and Quick Cloak, as well as Corrosive Armor. So I know that a lot of people are looking at this going, all right, well, JD, you have no crit buff. You know, you're not doing any crit damage. So we're running 2 bleeds, okay? And quite honestly, like, let's go ahead and look at the tooltip on this. So the tooltip on Carve is huge. So it's 11,750, and that's unbuffed. That's at 3,000 web damage. So we're just going to go ahead and get our little measly buff up. So our Carve is sitting at 13,495, and that's not with Fury proc. Okay, Fury proc, you're looking at way more damage. As well as 13,765 on the bleed for Blood Craze. Okay, so I mean, it's essentially the same amount of damage. And so the thing with bleeds is it ignores armor. So critting with it really doesn't matter if you're just stacking damage. The way I see it is stacking base damage and having high base damage over crit is going to be far more superior than running crit based setups. So let's dive into CP here, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So we're going to start in the apprentice tree. In the apprentice tree, I'm running 56 points into blessed, because remember, we're not focused on crit, so we're trying to get that healing up as high as we can without getting diminishing returns, and you know, being able to just get really thick heals without having to crit. So that's kind of the reason why we're running so much into blessed. Looking at the Atro tree, we're trying to achieve the Butcher, which we did. I'm running 19 points into Physical Weapons Expert for a 12% increase on light and heavy attacks, as well as 56 points into Master at Arms, 18 points into Shattering Blows for an 8% increase on shield users. Moving on over here to the Ritual page, we are trying to get the Last Stand. So we are running 56 points into Thaumaturge, 56 points into Mighty, 9 points into Piercing. That's all we need. You don't need any more points into Piercing. You're running mainly bleeds, and you also have Major Fracture. So I just feel like running anything into Piercing aside from extra points is kind of counterintuitive. But I would choose Piercing over Precise Strikes any day of the week. Moving on to the Red Tree. So I'm running 56 points in Ironclad for a 20% reduction to direct damage, 21 points into Resistant for 623 extra critical resist, 56 points into Thick Skinned, 32 points into Hardy, 32 points in Elemental Defender. I would not normally be running points in these two, but unfortunately I need Unchained, and so in order to get that, I have to run points into here, which I just don't like doing. Moving on, I am running 43 points into Quick Recovery for a 10% increased healing. Now that's going to be our total healing is going to be increased by a total of 22% with Blessed. That's our healing, the one that we're doing to ourselves. Now that's with Blessed. If you bring Fragmented Shield into it, it's going to be 42% increased healing. So that's pretty big. So now moving on to Heavy Armor. I'm running 30 points into here for an additional 2692 in Heavy Armor. Now that is mainly so that way we can even out this passive right here. Okay, so we're getting an additional spell resistance, so we need to go ahead and make our physical resist equal to that. Moving back into CP, we're going to dive into Green Tree. Got 1 point into Siphoner to apply that status effect, as well as 19 points into Sprinter to reduce that sprint cost by 12%. 56 points in a Warlord, reduce break free by 20%. 56 Mooncalf, 43 Healthy, and I'm running 23 points in Befoul, guys. I will go more into detail on this math here in just a moment. I'm running 56 points into Tumbling and 16 points into Shadow Ward. So the reason why we're running 23 points in Befoul for a total of 14.3% increase is because with those points in there, we are applying Major and Minor Defile. So by applying Major and Minor Defile, it's not showing you on Afflicted, but so basically with Minor Defile and then Major Defile, I don't have a Durox Bane in here, so I can't show you on this one. But with those two in there, it's doing a total of 51% healing debuff is what we're doing to people. So that is the total setup for what I'm running right now on my StamDK. This is going to be the Plague build. Guys, I really hope you enjoy it. Also, I hope you enjoy the footage that's coming up after this information here for you guys. Go out there. If you want to change up the sets, I would just suggest running Infliction because honestly, it's retarded. It's super strong. Just make sure you're running Charge. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys out there on the battlefield. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you guys want to join the community. That's going to really help me out, guys. If you join the community, keep in mind you get direct Q&A to me. So any questions that you guys have for ESO, I would answer that immediately for anybody who's joined the community. As well as if you guys want min-max on your builds, you can send the builds to me. I will min-max for them for you if you're a part of the community, and I will do that free of charge. So that will get done. I'll min-max anything you want, things like that. Those are the perks that I offer to anybody who joins the community. If you want to know how you can join the community, the way you do that is you just go to the page, and on the home page at the start page for the YouTube channel, there's going to be a join button up there at the top. Go ahead and click that, and it'll lead you to where you can go ahead and pay $5 and join the community. And you'll be able to get the tags, so when I'm streaming, you guys can post a funny picture. I have a funny picture of Fang Rush. It's a Fang Rush meme and Calvin and Klein. You guys can use that. Post that in the chat whenever you want, things like that. Anyways, like I said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the build. It's a lot of fun. I do enjoy the footage as well. I will see you guys out there on the battlefield. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, and I'll see you later.